Star Wars Episode VIII, Legacy of Darkness. Chapter 3, Blood and Loyalty. At the summit of Darth Vader's fortress, far above the fractured city below, order has been restored. Not through unity, but through control. Inside a pristine yet dimly lit chamber, General Hux stands before a small assembly. Political figures, military advisors, remnants of power, reorganized under new leadership.
The situation in the plaza cannot be ignored. The prisoners were meant to serve as an example. Instead, they have become a symbol, and symbols have a tendency to spread. This so-called resistance, if left unchecked, will undermine everything that we have built.
The doors to the chamber part abruptly, and a figure enters without hesitation, armor scorched and marked by battle. He says nothing as he approaches Hux. He kneels down to one knee, and after a brief moment begins to speak.
Supreme Leader, I have failed you. The Force users caught me unprepared, and for that failure, I offer you my life.
Hux does not respond immediately. Instead, he places a hand on Dama's shoulder.
Nonsense, my friend. You are worth far more to me than one failure. Please, rise. The failure to prepare was not yours alone. It was mine as well, and I do not intend to repeat it.
Hux presses a button on the comlink on his wrist.
Bring them in.
6 figures enter the chamber, encased in Beskar, weapons integrated into every movement. Not mere soldiers, but walking armories.
I am placing you in command of this unit, an elite squad of Beskar troopers, the first of their kind. I can think of no one better to instruct them and to lead them, because this is the high regard in which I hold you, my friend.
Not forgiveness, validation, reforged into loyalty.
I will not fail you again, Supreme Leader.
I knew you would, because this time you will be ready. I have a new mission for you.
The plaza has turned into a battlefield. Finn, Amana, Poe, Paige, and a lone resistance fighter are pinned behind scattered debris, unable to move, unable to return fire.
He's got us completely cornered. That bowcaster is ridiculous.
Each shot tears through the cover like it isn't there, sending fragments and heat bursting across the plaza.
Can't you two just push him back like you did earlier?
That's not something we can just do on command. It takes everything we've got, and both of us. And did you see the size of that thing? I don't even know if it would work.
The barrage doesn't slow, and Finn makes a decision. He pulls a jagged slab of metal from the wreckage beside him, lifting it like a shield.
Then, Don't even think about it.
What, we can't just sit here and wait for him to kill us.
Rod, you're a suicidal idiot.
Maybe. But I'm not staying here. You guys start firing when I draw his attention.
He runs, straight into the open, raising the makeshift shield in front of them. But too late. They hadn't noticed how close the Wookiee had gotten. The shield is ripped from his hands, sent spinning across the plaza. Before he can recover, Chewbacca is on him, lifting him off the ground, gripping him by the arms and shoulders, raising him high, like something about to be torn apart. Amana freezes. For a split second, she isn't in the plaza anymore. Another body, lifted, helpless. Jaren. The moment grabs her, and something in her breaks. She bursts out of the cover at full speed and places her heavy rifle at the back of Chewbacca's head.
You giant piece of bantha scat! You put him down now. Or I swear I will paint this entire plaza with your brains.
Wait!
A voice echoes across the plaza, urgent and desperate.
Uncle Chewie, put him down. He didn't do anything.
Uncle Chewie?
Rey and Ben reach the platform, just as the moment hangs on a knife's edge. Chewbacca doesn't drop Finn, but he stops. His grip loosens slightly, his attention shifting.
No, they saved me. I went with them willingly.
The Wookiee's voice rumbles low, demanding answers.
No, they didn't kill him. Put him down. He didn't do anything to Dad.
Chewbacca releases Finn, letting him fall back onto the floor. Another question. If not them, then who?
And it was me. It was me. I killed him.
The sound tears through the plaza, raw, unfiltered grief. He grabs Ben by the shoulders, shaking him violently. Blasters rise again, everyone expecting the worst. Chewbacca looks down at Ben's face, seeing the tears streaming down it.
I lost control. I thought he killed Mom. I didn't listen. I didn't think. I didn't want to. I fabled him.
He sees it, the regret, the truth, and instead of striking, he pulls him into an embrace. His voice softens, grief replacing rage. For a moment, Ben feels it again, the warmth of family, and it just reminds him of what he did to his father. He leaves Chewbacca's embrace, his shame casting a grim shadow across his face.
No! No! I don't deserve that. I don't deserve that. I'm a monster.
With the tension reduced, Rey interjects with grim determination.
We don't have time for this. Standing in the middle of a Mustafar Plaza, arguing with a Wookiee, is going to get us all killed.
She's right.
Poe turns to his comrade.
Take the prisoners, get them back to the base, now.
Turning back to Ray and the group, he continues.
Paige and I are coming with you.
That's right.
Ray glares at them with distrust,
And who are you exactly?
but Amana steps up.
She's my sister. We can trust her.
Fine. Let's just get off these streets already.
No more questions, no more time. Only the next move. Far from the fires of Mustafar, the Jedi Temple on Coruscant stands in quiet defiance of the chaos on the other end of the galaxy. Its halls remain orderly, its routines unchanged. But beneath that order, doubt has begun to take root. Inside the private chamber of Master Naro Salar, two figures move with careful urgency. They were not granted permission to be here, and they both know it.
Nothing. No personal logs, no off-record transmissions, no hidden channels. It's like he scrubbed his entire life clean.
No. If he had, we would see the traces of it. This was never recorded in the first place.
Ahsoka studies the inactive comm unit. No encryption scars, no missing data. Just silence.
That's not normal, right? Even the most careful Jedi leaves something behind.
And yet, he hasn't. Which means, whatever he's doing, he doesn't want anyone to know about it.
Until it's too late.
For a moment, neither of them moves. The absence of evidence is no longer reassuring. It is the evidence.
Then we're done here. We've pushed our luck far enough already. No point in adding unnecessary risk.
Agreed.
They leave the chamber as quietly as they entered, careful to leave no trace behind. Out in the corridor, the air feels different. Still. Too still. Ahsoka slows first. Mara notices a heartbeat later. Neither of them speaks at first. They both feel it.
We're not alone.
No, we're not.
A shadow shifts at the edge of the corridor. Then someone steps into view.
Mistress Talo? Mistress Jade?
Mara studies him for a brief moment, recognition setting in.
You're one of Solar's apprentices. Ninek Sareth, right?
Yes.
He glances down both ends of the corridor.
I need to speak with you.
Then speak.
No, I'm not here. It's about Master Salar. And if I'm right, then we're all in danger.
Ahsoka and Mara exchange a brief look. No words, just understanding.
Then start walking.
Without another word, the three of them disappear into the deeper corridors of the temple. And whatever truth Ninek Sareth carries with him, he does not carry it lightly. The doors of the sanctuary closed behind Rey, Ben, and the group with a heavy thud, sealing out the chaos of the city above. Below the surface, the air is cooler, quieter, removed from the fires of Mustafar, but not untouched by them. They move quickly through the narrow passage and enter the main chamber. No one speaks until they were certain the door is secure.
All right. Who are you people? What is going on? And why were you so insistent on coming with us?
Her voice is controlled, but there is no warmth in it. She does not trust them. Not yet.
I'm Poe Dameron. And ever since the occupation, I've been trying to organize a resistance.
My lady, it's worse than we thought. The Royalists, they've taken over. At least here on Mustafar.
And we don't know how much of the rest of the remnant they control.
We don't know anything for sure. And it's better if we don't pretend we do. All civilian communication has been cut off. Everything that goes out now is controlled. Military, political, or propaganda.
Ray absorbs it in silence. The weight of it settles quickly.
So they really did it. They took over.
Amana turns to her sister with a somber smile.
I'm just glad you got out of the academy when you did. At least we're on the same side of this.
So am I, little Rose.
You know, actually, about that, why do you keep calling her Rose?
Because it was her favorite flower. It was our mother's, too. Before she died in the Civil War.
Oh. I'm sorry. Amana never told me. I didn't mean to dig up old memories.
Don't worry about it.
Paige is also forgetting the part where she just can't help but embarrassing in front of everyone with that nickname.
And that's because you make such cute faces when I do.
Ray looks back to Poe, her attention sharpening again.
How? How are you organizing the resistance under something like that?
I grew up in the remnant. My father was one of the Empire's most decorated pilots. That opened doors. Put me in places I shouldn't have been. I used what I had, tried to help where I could, food, supplies, whatever I could move without drawing attention. But when Hux stepped in, everything changed.
His tone hardens.
The Royalists stopped hiding. They started pushing for control fast. And they weren't just taking advantage of the famine. They were making it worse.
The room goes still.
Cutting supply lines, redirecting resources, letting entire sectors starve so they could step in and fix the problem. That's when I knew this really was.
He looks at all of them now, not just Ray.
I gathered what proof I could and got out before they noticed. Been building a resistance ever since. Trying to get the truth out to the people before they drag the entire remnant into another war.
And that's why you came to us.
We saw what you did out there. The way you threw Dama Fett across the platform like he was nothing.
Finn and Amama exchange a brief glance.
Dama Fett. So that's his name.
Do you have any idea how many operations that man shut down? How many people we lost because of him? We've been trying to break into the central broadcasting station to get the truth out, but we've never had the firepower.
It's too heavily guarded. And it's like Dama Fett is somehow always there.
But with you, we finally have a weapon that they don't. Because you guys are Force users.
Ray's expression hardens instantly.
You used the Force?
We didn't exactly have a choice.
They were about to execute people. We rushed in, but that Mandalorian was there. He almost killed us. We didn't have another option. That's when Poe and his people showed up and helped us. But thanks for that, by the way. I didn't really get a chance to say it earlier.
Hey, don't worry about it, Tao. Anything for an ally of the cause.
Nobody said we were allies. Yet.
The word hangs between them.
My lady, please. You have to admit, they're right. If Poe really has proof that the Royalists made the famine worse, that's everything. That's the kind of spark that starts a rebellion. Everything we've done so far has been to help our people. This will do that more than faster growing crops. We finally have a chance, not just to help the people, but to inspire them to help themselves. We can all rise up and build a better future together.
Finn takes Rey's hands and looks her in the eyes.
Rey, please.
Rey doesn't answer immediately. She stops to think, weighing it. And then finally, she squeezes his hand. Finn's words land.
Fine. We'll consider it. But I need to consult with the old master first.
Throughout their discussion, one person has remained dead silent. Ben Solo hasn't said a word, hasn't reacted. The reunion, the confession, the weight of it all has pulled him somewhere else entirely. He sits apart from the others, lost in his own thoughts. The conversation passes him by, and with it the promise Rey made to him. Rey disappears deeper into the sanctuary.
Hey, wait. Where is the Wookiee?
Everyone stops to look around, but he's gone. On the far side of the sanctuary, out of sight, Chewbacca stands alone. He activates a handheld comlink, and a familiar presence answers. Luke Skywalker.
Chewie, tell me you found him.
Through a series of strained growls and roars, Chewbacca explains. Ben is alive on Mustafar.
That's the best news I've heard in a while. I'm already on my way. Stay close to them and keep me updated. I'll be there as soon as I can.
Chewbacca lowers the comlink, and for the first time since arriving on Mustafar, the group are no longer alone.